Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson here on the channel. I was just thinking about if I could leave one sentence to kind of the success formula for Amazon. I thought of it's about what you sell and how you sell it. So that's what we're gonna be covering today. I mean, it sounds really utterly simple, but a lot of you are having trouble pulling the trigger. A lot of you are stuck, can't figure out what to sell or how to get into it, can't take action. This might help. I mean, just giving you some simple steps, that helps me. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Thanks for subscribing down below. Be sure to like if you do enjoy the video at any point. Other than that, let's get into it. When you're starting Amazon, it seems very scary, right? There's a lot to do. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot of questions and you feel like you need the answers to all of them. And then eventually you get to a certain point and you've launched X number of products and you're like, what was I so worried about? And why was it taking me so long to get started with this? This is utterly simple. And that's why I keep trying to make it simpler and simpler. Eventually I'm just going to come up with one word. Started with like a couple sentences. Now we're down to one sentence. It's going to be a word eventually. So it's about what you sell and how you sell it. That's all there is to it, right? You could throw everything else out the window. If you have a product that meets the proper criteria and you sell it in a certain way, and we're covering both of those. Don't worry for those of you who are like, this is too general for me. You're gonna be successful. If you, maybe not the first time, but if you do that 3 times, one of those products is gonna be successful. All of them should be. I just don't ever want to set the expectation that everything you do is gonna work, because there's been plenty of times where I've tried something and I thought it was gonna work and it just didn't. You just keep going. It's like, imagine if you, Tony Robbins has this hilarious example. Like your child is learning to walk and he tries 5-6 times and you're just like, that's it. He's not a walker. My kid's not gonna walk. It's like, no, he's gonna learn to walk, right? Like he'll fall hundreds of times, thousands of times. He's gonna keep trying. He's gonna get it. He's not just gonna give up. He'll just, he'll just sit all the time. No, he's gonna learn to walk. And that's like what you have to be like with your business. There has to be this no other option attitude. It's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna learn how to do this. I'm gonna hold myself accountable. If I mess up, who cares, right? It's all fine. There's no real issue with messing up. There's no real issue with failing. Just, have that attitude. Take a little easier on yourself. I think that's a little bit more fun attitude to have in business. It's like a big game. Keep trying, keep learning, keep refining yourself, keep trying new things, and you'll be all set. So the first thing that we're talking about is about what you sell. Now I pulled up a really random market of just something that I happen to be interested in. I don't know if I'm interested in fly leaders, but I certainly use them for fly fishing. This is probably brand dominated, but the market that I'm going to show you has no importance. It's about the things that I'm going to be talking about. So we could use this as an example. So when I'm looking for a market, what to sell, it's about what to sell and how you sell it, right? So what to sell? Well, the biggest thing that I could tell you is you want to sell something where you're not competing with high quality sellers. And ideally not competing with a lot of them. If there's the occasional high quality seller, that's totally fine. It's all about volume here, right? Like if you went into, think about it this way. This is a really easy way to think about this. If you were going to sell a physical product, say you were really passionate about like sports and outdoors, maybe even fishing specifically, what would you probably would be one of the first things you do? You'd start thinking about what's that thing that isn't there that maybe exists but isn't where you need it to be, and then you would design that product and bring it to store. Or you might even go to stores like Dick's Sporting Goods and REI and look at their sporting goods sections and see what is that thing that you want that's missing. You might know firsthand if you're in that space, like, oh, I wish this, worked better. This is a camera lens lid or whatever they call those. But how can I improve that? And I'd start doing the same thing with an Amazon product, right? I'm looking for markets in spaces where that question can still be answered. When everything has been done, right? So maybe even in this space, this is probably a good example of what not to do. I know for a fact, any possible fly leader you could ever want is sold by a big, awesome brand. And there's infinite numbers of like different densities, different material types. You have poly leaders, you have, fluorocarbon, you have monofilament. anything that you could, make it out of has been done. Any length, any tapering, all of that has been done. So this is an example where, like, if you're looking at products and you couldn't even think of anything that you would need to change, or there's tons of good sellers and the customer has good options, I always say step into the shoes of the customer. If you're a customer, are you satisfied with the results? These are all just really basic fundamental questions you could ask yourself. So do that one. That's one of my favorites. If I'm the customer and I look at this market, am I satisfied with the results? Stop looking at markets as a seller so much. Just take a step back off the CEO position. Just be a customer for a while. Am I unsatisfied or am I satisfied with the results? Which one would I choose? Why would I choose that one? What are my top 3? Can I make a top 10, or is there not enough to do that? Can I make a top 5, or is there not enough to do that? If it's really just one clear winner, that shows you there's really just one high quality seller. If there's like 4 you would pick from, there's 4 high quality sellers. So that's a really good way to go about that. So what you sell, you want to find products where the customer doesn't have a lot of results and they don't have a lot of high quality options. And maybe there's something missing functionally. Maybe there's something that can be done. If all of these were 9-foot 5X leaders, 4.9 pound test, well, there's infinite other leaders that we would need for fly fishing, different weights, different strengths, different lengths. That would leave a lot of space to come in and do this. I mean, this is a sport that's been very well developed for hundreds of years. So there's everything you need. But the product, like I said, the example we're talking about, that's what you're looking for. Now, how you sell it. This is almost more important than the product. It's about how you sell it, right? If you come in, and let's try and find a good example of this. If you're this person, I'm sure they've made a couple sales in their life, but they're not going to ever be the best seller in this market and have the number 1 spot. If you're this seller, you don't have a white background, you have this like weird, it's like on someone's porch, they're out of their packaging, you can't even see what brand it is. It's like, are these being homemade? Like, what is this? If you're that seller and you have high expectations for your product, you could probably think again, right? Because that's not going to work. You need to actually create a beautiful package. You need to have professional photography done. You need to present the product as if you were already a professional brand, a high quality, trustworthy brand. When customers look at yours, like, look at this Scientific Anglers one. As soon as I look at this, I mean, forget the Amazon's Choice. I'm instantly attracted to this brand. I want to know more about them. I want to look at their products. Rio's another trustworthy brand. I just happen to know that. But honestly, if I'm just looking at that, that's just a 3D rendered version of their packaging, and you can't even see any, fly leader on the inside. Very strange, right? These are getting better. At least you can see the leaders on the inside. You want to be the Scientific Anglers of your market, okay? You want to have that beautiful main image that's pulling people in. So how you sell it like you're already a professional. Don't kind of like give the excuse that you need to get your feet wet. You need to, figure this out. Maybe 3 years from now, you'll be the best you can be. Start being the best seller right now, because all it takes is working with professionals. It's not like you're learning all these skills, you're going taking night courses for editing. None of that is required. Just get a good photographer, get a good package designer. You're set, right? And even get a good copywriter. You don't know how to copyright? That's, by the way, copywriting is not intellectual property. It's this. It's typing your bullets, your title, your description. That's what copywriting is. Copywriting with a W, not an R. So this, ironically, I was talking them up. They only have one beautiful main image, no other secondary images, and they have very short bullet points and a very short title. So actually, this listing is not good. Don't be the Scientific Anglers of your market, but have this equivalent main image in your market, the one that stands out, right? Be that person. For a lot of these brands, poor listings are going to work because they're very well-known brands. That's pretty much it, guys. It's about what you sell and how you sell it. Select something that falls within that criteria. There's not a lot of good options. It's a really easy way to sum it up. And then be the best seller for that. Create the most on-brand packaging. Look the most trustworthy. Do the most market research. Figure out what that customer wants, provide it to them. that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end, and be sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already so you don't miss videos like this in the future. Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Later.